Prabhupada said, why the householders in Maya? He asked and then he answers, because that is their position. So, welcome to the ashram. Nice of you to drop in. Let's see. Chapter 6. Right?
Chapter 5, verses 36 through 42.
Yeah. Right. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Kayanam Samskritya.
Smritya.
Narotamam.
Narotamam.
Saraswati Vyasam.
Devim Saraswati Vyasam.
Jayam Kirayat.
Tato Jayam Kirayat.
Prashvabhadreshu.
Prashvabhadreshu.
Bhagavat Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Tamashloke.
Bhagavati Tamashloke.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki.
The morning was text for 36. It was a wonderful wedding, by the way.
Oh,
Very cool.
Wasn't it?
yeah, I don't.
Thank you very much. True Philosophy Adventure Association.
Thank
Are you happy with the ceremony?
Yes, thank you for coming and blessing us.
Blessings are easy. Text number 36. Can we go ahead and start? Should we want to do?
Great philosophers imagine that the complete planetary systems in the universe are displays of the different upper and lower limbs of the universal body.
The Brahmanas represent his mouth, the Kshatriyas his arms, the Vaishyas his thighs, and the Shudras are born in his legs.
The lower planetary systems, up to the limit of the earthly stratum, are said to be situated in his legs. The middle planetary systems, beginning from Gorgaloka, are situated in his navel. and the still higher planetary systems occupied by the demigods and highly cultured sages and saints are situated in the chest of the Supreme Lord.
From the forefront of the chest up to the neck of the universal form of the Lord are situated the planetary systems named Janaloka and Tapaloka, whereas Satyaloka, the topmost planetary system, is situated on the head of the form. Spiritual planets, however, are eternal.
My dear son Narada, note from me that there are 7 lower planetary systems out of the total 14. First planetary system, known as Atala, is situated on the waist. Second, Vitala is situated on the thighs. The third, Sutala, on the knees. The fourth, Talatala, on the shanks. Fifth, Mahatala, on the ankles. The sixth, Rosatala, on the upper portion of the feet. The seventh, Patala, on the soles of the feet. This Virat form of the Lord is full of all planetary systems.
Others may divide the whole planetary systems into namely the lower planetary systems on the legs up to the earth, the middle planetary systems on the navel, and the upper planetary systems Swaraloka from the chest to the head.
37 is the description of wireless with the person force. Urushasya mukham brahma,
Urushasya mukham brahma,
Tasya bhava,
Shatravetasya bhava,
Arvaisho,
Urvaisho bhaktata,
Yam Sudro Vijayata,
Bhagyam Sudro
Shasya mukham brahma,
Urushasya mukham brahma,
Tasya bhava,
Shatravetasya bhava,
Aisho Arvataha,
Urvaisho bhaktata,
Bhagyam Sudro Vijayata,
Bhagyam Sudro vijayata,
Purushasya mukham brahma,
Urushasya mukham brahma,
Prametasya bhava,
Shatravetasya bhava,
Vaisho Bhavata,
Urvaisho bhaktata,
Yam Shudro Vyajayata,
Bhagyam Sudro vijayata,
Urushasya mukham brahma,
Urushasya mukham brahma,
Shatravetasya bhava,
Shatravetasya bhava,
Vishnu Bhagavata,
Urvaisho bhagavata,
Pravyajayata,
Bhagyam Shudro vijayata,
Shasya mukham brahma,
Urushasya mukham brahma, Shatravetasya bhava,
I know.
Urvaisho bhagavata, Bhagyam Shudro vijayata,
Hopefully. Probably not.
Urushasya mukham brahma,
Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna Krishna.
Bhagyam from his legs,
Hare Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna Krishna. Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna.
Brahmanas represent the
Hare
south,
Krishna Krishna.
Kshatriyas the
Krishna
north,
Hare
Vaishyas the west,
Krishna
and
Krishna.
Shudras are born in the plain.
Hare Krishna
Context.
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna.
Topic of universal form of Krishna. The universal form of Krishna is the means by which we can understand the presence of the Supreme in everything. There is no actual Virat Rupa, no actual person, universal form. It's an imaginary form of the Lord, meant to give us something to race with our material minds and senses. So this is, you could say, an allegory. The planets represent the parts of the body. the features of the earth represent parts of his body. Suta Goswami is sitting there explaining, sages, Radha Shukadeva is explaining to Maharaj Krishna this concept of the Supreme as an early understanding of the Supreme Personality. We finally get to the point of this. We finally get to the point of the Supreme Person, then we get to Krishna's pastime. So it's a great distance that Srimad Bhagavatam covers. But hearing these things in the preliminary stages, Sukadeva Goswami considers very foundational to appreciating Krishna's Supreme. Okay, so who'd like to start with the
All living beings are stated to be parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and how they are so is explained in this verse. The four divisions of human society, the intelligent class, the Brahmanas, the administrative class, the Kshatriyas, the mercantile class, the Vaishyas, and the labor class, the Shudras, are all in different parts of the body of the Lord. As such, no one is different from the Lord. The mouth of the body and the legs of the body are non-different constitutionally, but the mouth or the head of the body is qualitatively more important than the legs. At the same time, the mouth, the legs, the arms, and the thighs are all component parts of the body. These limbs of the body of the Lord are meant to serve the complete whole. The mouth is meant for speaking and eating. The arms are meant for the protection of the body. The legs are meant for carrying the body, and the waist of the body is meant for maintaining the body. The intelligent class in society, therefore, must speak on behalf of the body, as well as accept foodstuff to satisfy the hunger of the body. The hunger of the Lord is to accept the fruits of sacrifice. The Brahmanas, or the intelligent class, must be very expert in performing such sacrifices, and the subordinate classes must join in such sacrifices. To speak for the Supreme Lord means to glorify the Lord by means of propagating the knowledge of the Lord as it is, broadcasting the factual nature of the Lord and the factual position of all other parts of the whole body. The Brahmanas, therefore, are required to know the Vedas, or the ultimate source of knowledge. Veda means knowledge, and Anta means the end of it. According to Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is the source of everything, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. And thus, the end of all knowledge, Vedanta, is to know the Lord, to know our relationship with Him, and to act according to that relationship only. The parts of the body are related to the body. Similarly, the living being must know his relationship with the Lord. The human life is especially meant for this purpose, namely to know the factual relationship of every living being with the Supreme Lord. Without knowing this relationship, the human life is spoiled. The intelligent class of men, the Brahmanas, are therefore especially responsible for broadcasting this knowledge of our relationship with the Lord and leading the general mass of people to the right path. The administrative class is meant for protecting the living beings so that they can serve this purpose. The mercantile class is meant for producing food grains and distributing them to the complete human society, so that the whole population is given a chance to live comfortably and discharge the duties of human life. The mercantile class is also required to give protection to the cows in order to get sufficient milk and milk products, which alone can give the proper health and intelligence to maintain a civilization perfectly meant for knowledge of the ultimate truth. And the laborer class, who is neither intelligent nor powerful, can help by physical services to other higher classes and thus be benefited by their cooperation. Therefore, the universe is a complete unit in relationship with the Lord. And without this relationship with the Lord, the whole human society is disturbed and is without any peace and prosperity. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Brahmanosya mukham asid bahu ranjanya krita.
Prabhupada Ki Jai. When I was young and music was good, there was an album called Axis Bold as Love by Jimi Hendrix, a famous guitarist. He was such a good guitarist, he could play his guitar like this behind his head. And on that album, he had a picture of the universal form with his face in the middle. All the demigods on either side. So we're reading about specifically these different orders of life as the symbolic representations of the body of the universal form. But I want to again talk a little more about the general concept first of the universal form. Where do we see the appearance of the universal form in one of our most important books?
Bhagavad Gita.
Chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, right? So in that section, by that time in their conversation, Arjuna has kind of passed through all of his skepticism. He had a lot of skepticism about what Krishna was teaching him. Can anyone remember some of his skeptical questions? Anaki? Yes, what if I take up spiritual life but I fail? And then I've lost my material life and my spiritual life. I'm like a riven cloud. Last week I was seeing this cloud, this kind of manifest all of a sudden. It's a very humid day, and all of a sudden there's this clear blue sky, there's this white cloud, and then it just kind of disappeared. So Prabhupada used this old word, riven, a riven cloud. It doesn't have a home like with a big body of clouds. It's just kind of floating alone. So yes, good. Any other skeptical questions?
You're saying that you are the one who spoke this knowledge to the sun god, but here I grew up with you. We joked around. You're my friend, so it doesn't correspond.
He's so much older. He was millions of years ago, right? To which Krishna says, many, many births, both you and I had passed. Right?
You don't remember, but I do.
Yes. Good. All right, and then there's one more. Here's Gopal.
Specifically about Bhishma and Drona, he was saying if the elder members of the family are slain, then people are unprotected and unwanted population.
Yes, good. So then he says, you're asking me to fight in this ghastly war, and yet you want me to be a yogi. Would you please make up your mind? So throughout the early chapters of the Gita, Arjuna is asking very human, very logical, very reasonable questions. And Krishna patiently answers them. Finally, by chapter 10 of the 18 chapters, by the 10th chapter, Arjuna is convinced. And he says, now I see everything you're saying has been said by great sages of the past. And now I'm hearing it directly from you. All the sages of the past said you're the supreme. And now I'm hearing you say it for yourself, how you're the supreme personality of Godhead. Anyone remember that verse in Scholars? Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. You are the source of spiritual and material worlds. You are the purest. In this way, Arjuna is praising Krishna. So after this, he asks Krishna a very important question. Anyone remember? Now I accept everything you're saying, Krishna. Now, what is his question? It's the 10th chapter of the Gita. This is chapter 11 talking about, or he asked. Yeah, the question I was looking for, how do I meditate on you? That's what he asked. Yes, how should I, now I accept you as the supreme, how should I meditate on you? So then, yes, Krishna goes through and tells all the various opulences. Yeah, but how many can you name? What are some of the things that Krishna says in the 10th canto? Just call them out in the 10th chapter. That's another chapter. But yes, that too. Among fish I am, in the alphabet I am, of secrets I am, of immovable things I am, of men I am, the monarch. Among the Pandavas I am. Right, so Among stars, I am the moon, yes. So in this way, Krishna gives Arjuna many tangible ways to meditate upon. And then at the end of this chapter, at the beginning of this 11th chapter, Arjuna still is a little, now he's a little comfortable. Okay, Krishna's God, now I know how to meditate on him, but could you show me this mystical presence that you were describing earlier? Yeah. And I want to see how you pervade everything. In the 9th chapter, as Prabhupada Priya pointed out, he says, I pervade everything, and yet myself, very self, is the source of creation. So how is this presence of yours through everything? And Krishna says, yes, I'll show you the totality of this universe and how it's all coming from me, but you'll need special eyes. So I give you this gift of divine eyes. And he says, no one has ever seen this form before. Now, there was somebody who did see it, partially, at least on one occasion. And you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, before the great battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna tried to convince Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, don't fight. And he made some logical arguments. They weren't accepting it. And he said, well, take a look at this. And then Dhritarashtra was blind, but he could see. He saw this incredible, powerful, mystic form, which is just a partial view of the universal form. And Dhritarashtra was quite impressed, but Duryodhana was not. He said, it's just some mystic trick Krishna is showing. Nah, we won't give you any land at all. Let's go to the fight. So now, even Krishna could not stop people from fighting in Kali Yuga. Even the universal form. So after this request from Arjuna, which is in one sense a kind of it's not exactly a devotional request. He's not asking Krishna, how can I serve you? He's asking Krishna, show me some amazing, so your mystic presence through everything. So Krishna said, yeah, sure, if that's what you want. And then Arjuna begins by seeing these incredible, beautiful colors and demigods and powerful beings and blinding lights and gorgeous, magnificent forms. And he's overwhelmed by the beauty of it all. And then he sees something else. He sees that all the stars and the planets are full of people, and they're all rushing into the mouth of the universal form. It's this big, giant mouth like Pac-Man. He's eating everything. And he sees all of his loved ones also rushing into this mouth. And he says it's like moths flying into fire, flying into their death. Foolishly. Why are all these people rushing in to be killed? And I see you chewing them up. He's very graphic. He says, I see your teeth are crushing their bones, and blood is spurting out, and you're just eating everybody. Who are you? So he sees the beauty, and then he sees the ugly side. He he's very impressed with the beauty, but then he's frightened of the ugly side. And what does Krishna say when Arjuna says, who are you? Kalosmi, time I am, the destroyer of the world. Yes, who saw Oppenheimer? This is a verse that Oppenheimer quoted when the first atomic bomb was exploded. He quoted the Bhagavad Gita. Time I am, destroyer of the worlds. And this frightened Arjuna so much that his mood completely changed from reverence to fear, and then to remorse. So Arjuna felt that he had made a terrible mistake by being so familiar with Krishna. You remember we talked sometimes about an apology. What comprises a sincere apology? There's three things. They all begin with R. First is recognition. I've done something wrong. Second is remorse. I'm sorry. I really feel badly about this. And then rectifications, right? So Arjuna begins with recognition. I've treated you so in such a familiar way. And please forgive me like a father might forgive an arrogant, puffed up son who's offensive, or like a lover might forgive a beloved. In a good marriage, it's like that. The partners can forgive each other and don't hold grudges. Or a friend, a true friend, would forgive a friend. In this way, Arjuna is remorseful. And then Krishna does not like this mood at all. He's very unhappy with Arjuna's taking this position. So he says, wait a minute, okay, here's first he shows his Vishnu form, forearm form, just to show this is the God with which you're familiar. And then he shows your two-arm form, his two-arm form again. He says, hey, Arjuna, it's me. Okay. And then he mentions, you did ask to see this. And I showed it to you. It's your request. So this is the universal form. There is the beauty and the ugliness. And that's the reality of life in this world, isn't it? So the whole description of the universal form is here so we can become more God conscious. People sometimes go out to nature to commune with the divine. And there's a natural sense of wanting to be out with the beauty and the peacefulness of nature to just get over anxieties or to recenter and refocus. God is in nature. Many people say this is called pantheism. And I see God in nature. That's my communion with God. But nature has two sides, doesn't it? It has a beautiful side, but it also has a very ugly side. I once went to Jacksonville, University of North Florida, to give a class about a related topic. And I gave this analogy that it was a realization I had, actually, because I love to walk in the woods also. But one day I was walking in the woods and I had this realization. It's also beautiful and peaceful, but what is really going on? Every plant and tree is competing with every other plant and tree for the sunlight, for the nutrients in the water. And it's a fight to the death. If a creeper can go up and completely choke off a tree from any sunlight and take it all for itself and the tree dies, so be it. They're fighting. That's what we're actually seeing in the beauty of nature, isn't it? When we get hard struggle for existence, right? But when I brought this up to the students, they didn't like it. They did not like that. So I have never used that analogy again. I just keep that one to myself. Because this idea, yes, nature is beautiful. Nature is God. Nature is serene. No, it's actually a hard struggle for existence. Every living thing is competing with every other living being for existence. Jivasya jivanam, jivo jivasya jivanam, as Narada Muni says to Yudhishthira. One living being is food for another. So the ugly side of the universal form frightens Arjuna. He doesn't like it. But that's the reality. So he asked to see the whole thing, and Krishna showed him the whole thing, and then he said, wow, that's something that I didn't understand. Now, he says, Krishna, I just want to see you. And this is where the next chapter of the Gita begins. What is that next chapter after after Arjuna sees this horrific universal form? What's the following chapter? Chapter 12, devotional service. Right. And in this chapter, Krishna describes how you can meditate on God in a variety of ways. But if you go directly to me, he said, I will personally save you from the cycle of birth and death. So then he describes the qualities of the devotees. And that brings us to this verse and purport. So what is the topic here that we read about in this particular verse? Right, the varnashram, the four orders of life, the four varnas, four occupations. These are natural divisions of human society, the four orders of life. Plato describes something similar in the Republic his book, The Republic, he had just three. He had the Brahmins and Kshatriyas kind of merged. Philosopher kings, he called them. And then there would be the merchants, and then there'd be the workers. But the full picture is four, because there is a division. Like in America, we have separation of church and state. And there's supposed to be an independent theology, or a theocracy, you could say, that people can follow their own religion without any interference from the government. And this is consistent with the Vedic model. In other words, the Brahmins, the priests, are supposed to be independent of the government. The Kshatriyas are rather supposed to take direction from those who are more spiritually enlightened. And the Kshatriyas have the right to collect money. The Kshatriyas can take tax from the merchants, but the Brahmins don't work. They just receive charity. They're the mouth of the Lord, and so the food for the universal body comes through the mouth of the Brahmins. What is it? Yajana, Yojana, Patana, Patana. One is a Brahmin is supposed to accept charity and eat on behalf of the Lord and speak on behalf of the Lord. So this is why it's the mouth. So the Brahmins, by definition, have to be detached. And they have to be able to objectively give advice and guide society without any vested interest. Today, our leaders are very much mixed up with the economic development of the country as well as their own economic development. In fact, not just in this country, but all over the world. This is traditionally, you get elected to a high office, then you get to rake in the dough, isn't it? So the Brahmins are meant to receive the wealth, and then they dispense the wealth, and they don't keep any for themselves. The Kshatriyas have to be strong, and they have to be capable and resourceful and able to protect society, like the arms. The Vaishyas have to be able to make money, and therefore they're compared to the stomach. The stomach takes in the food stuff and then provides energy for the body. And all of it rests on the legs. So the legs are the Shudras, the workers, and they always work under the direction of the higher castes. So Prabhupada gives this example that every part of the body is important. Everything is part and parcel of this one entity we call our body, and we monitor every part. You have a hangnail on your little toe and it's hurting. You're conscious of that. Everything is part and parcel of this one entity. However, if you had to do without something, the first thing to do, the one thing that you cannot do without is the head. Okay? You can somehow or other survive without arms, legs, and even a stomach can be fed intravenously, but there's no existence without the head. So the universal form's head and arms and legs, belly, it's all described here. And again, this is just imaginary. However, these divisions of work are reality. Now, the question then is, what is our position in this system? Of these four orders, where do devotees of Krishna fit in?
Under the feet.
On the feet. Underneath the feet. Actually, the devotees are transcendental to these four orders. They can act in any one of them according to the need, because their purpose is not to guide society or collect taxes or make money or work. Their purpose is what? The devotees, they want to please Krishna, they want to serve Krishna. So they can act in any capacity necessary for that purpose. And of course, we should mention that there's another category of human beings that don't make the cut here. What are those? Yeah, the outcasts, the malechas, those who are not even qualified to be Shudras. And today, that is more or less the entire population of the world, because we're not working in this varnashram system, and there are no qualified Brahmins in leadership roles or Kshatriyas. Rather, everybody is breaking all of the basic foundational principles of human life. Like when there's an initiation, we have these 4 vows, these 4 regulative principles, and they're each associated with basic human values. We don't eat meat because we're compassionate. We don't gamble because we're honest. We don't take intoxication because we're self-control. And we don't have extramarital sex because we are clean, okay, internally and externally. So this is the basic foundation to even be a Shudra, to even be in the lowest order. Okay, Shudras may not be as strict on all of these things, but the point is, this is where human life begins. So Srila Prabhupada is so amazing because he came to this environment where there is not even basic human civilization. People are so nasty and so wrapped up in self-aggrandizement and self-enrichment that the compassion is just kind of seen for losers, and honesty is not important. You can be as dishonest as you need to be as long as you get it on top, Gambling, rather, meat eating, not even a thought. So the point is that we are going from the lowest position to this highest position, where we can act in any of these varnas and ashrams for Krishna's pleasure. And in order to be able to do that, well, we at least have to be able to do what the Brahmins can do. What are the qualities of a Brahmin that are described in Bhagavad Gita? Anybody remember? Truthfulness. Truthfulness means honest and straightforward dealings. Yes, not backbiting, but straightforward dealings. Right? Not diplomacy. And diplomacy is one of those words. It's called a counternym. You ever heard of that? Counternym is a word that can have a positive or a negative meaning. So diplomacy can be a very good thing if it's being used for constructive reasons. It can be a very nasty thing if it's used for selfish reasons. So, good. Truthfulness, what's another quality of a Brahmin? Cleanliness, right? Tolerance, sama, dhamma. Sama is titisha, right, titisha. Sama, dhamma, dhamma, socham. Chantir, arjuna, peacefulness, okay. Others? Self-control. Dhamma. Equal vision. Knowledge, yes. Jnanam. And then vijnanam. We have theoretical knowledge and then, realized knowledge. Realized knowledge just means that we actually incorporate what we know in our head, in our lives, and in our actions. Okay? So these qualities manifest automatically in the devotee, in one who's trying to serve Krishna, in one whose purpose is to serve Krishna, not to serve one's own stupid, selfish interests. That's the reason we're in the material world. We shift our purpose to trying to please Krishna. That's intelligent. And when we do that, yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati kinchana, sarvaya gunar tatra samasati, so all the good qualities manifest. In this way, a devotee can be a Brahmin automatically. It's not by birth, it's not by education, but it's by quality. All right, again, in summary, this universal form is an imaginary form of Krishna, meant to help us connect with the material energy, with our material senses. It exists only in the material world. It has its beautiful side, it has its very ugly side. To see the whole reality. And then these various descriptions, the planets as well as the orders of life comprise the different parts of the body. Any reflections, questions?
So depending on which form of the Lord we're attracted to or meditate on, or Krishna says, in whatever consciousness you're at, that will be your destination, right? So somebody may be taking up the meditation on the Virat Rup because they're at this level, and then they leave. Then on meditation on the Virat Rup they go, but there's no Virat Rup Loka, right?
Right. That's right.
So then what is like? What does that look like? I mean,
If your worshipable deity is the Virat Rupa, what planet do you go to? What is your destination? Yeah, probably Gainesville. I don't know. Yeah, if we're just seeing only that form of God, you see, there's no relationship there. This is what Arjuna ran into. He was appreciating the beauty, and then he was afraid, and then he didn't know what to do. He was just apologizing. So there's no relationship of love possible with this Virat Rupa. And ultimately, we gravitate toward that which we love. So if we love nature, if we love the things of this world, then we'll stay in this world. That's the mode of passion. In the Gita, Krishna says, if you are in the mode of passion, then you belong right in this world. Srila Prabhupada said it in a very succinct way. He said, if you want to see one beautiful sunset, then you must take another birth. We're so unromantic. No, you can do that for Krishna.
Hare Krishna. There's another really sweet point that Prabhupada brings out in the purports in this section. He's saying that one thing that we can learn from the fact that, how here in the Bhagavatam, all the different universes of different planetary systems are mapped out onto the body of the Lord, and also the different varnas are mapped out onto the body of the Lord, is that the Lord is conscious of everyone. He's conscious of everyone, no matter what your varna is, no matter which planet you're situated on in the 14 planetary systems. He's conscious in the same way that, like you mentioned, if you have a toenail in your little toe, you're conscious of it. And if you have like a bug walking across your forehead, you're conscious of it. So from head to toe, we're conscious of our body. And the same way, all the 14 planetary systems, all the different, varnas and ashrams that are mapped out in the body of the Lord, the Lord is conscious of them because they're part of his body. And then he goes on to say that this means that everyone has a relationship with the Lord, no matter where you are, no matter what you do, what your disposition is, what planet you're on. Everyone has a relationship with Krishna, and Krishna is conscious of you, and you have a relationship with him, and that can be revived from any point.
Theists or atheists, Krishna is conscious of you and loves you. Yeah. And so Bhakti just gives us a chance. Okay, we want to reciprocate that unconditional love that is coming from God. Nice, thank you. That's a really nice reflection. Oh, we're just part of Krishna. We're a bug on Krishna's body somewhere. And Krishna knows we're not getting away with anything. Okay, Carmen. Gopi, yes, Prabhu.
No, if I'm making this up, but I remember that Arjuna was also wanting Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita to show his universal form, so that those in the future can take seriously what Krishna was saying.
I believe Prabhupada does mention that. He was asked, in fact, if somebody challenges us, can you show me God? He said Arjuna had to have divine eyes to see. And if somebody claims, I am God, then we can ask them, no, then can you show me your universal form? And then one impersonalist said, you have to have divine eyes to see.
When you say, well, if you're God, then give me the divine eyes.
Yeah. Ooh. This is how Bhagavad Gita can. What is that? Yeah, or very dangerous. Sanction is another contronym, by the way. Like the Lord can sanction us to, as a blessing, or a government can place sanctions on another country as a punishment. Same word, blessing, punishment. Anyway, okay. Other comments, reflections, questions? All right, Gopal, are we ready for prasadam? Okay. Okay, very good, very efficient. All right, so thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Prasade